UFC Fight Night Vegas 5 Brunson versus Shahbazyan has just wrapped up, and what a messy card it was. But we're going to be going through the entire card, starting with the early prelims, ending with the main event, giving our reaction and breakdown to every single fight on the card, starting with our early prelim opener of, and this got a little bit crazy, Chris Gutierrez versus Cody Durden. Starting off the mess of the card that we just had, it was a little bit sloppy. First of all, the whole card was a mess overall because we lost about half of the fights like in the week of the fight coming up, which was a strange situation, but still we recovered. We had Chris Gutierrez versus Cody Durden to open up our early prelims. I thought Chris Gutierrez was going to go out there and completely obliterate him. That's kind of what we saw in the second and third round. In the first round, Cody Durden held on to the back of Chris Gutierrez for about 4 minutes overall, was landing some good little rabid punches. They were more elbow punches, forearm punches that weren't really doing too much damage, just kind of annoying Gutierrez. Gutierrez recovered from every single rear naked choke situation. They gave it a 10-8 round, which I just don't understand why they gave it a 10-8 round. It makes somewhat no sense to me. It didn't do much damage whatsoever. He didn't really have too many moments where I thought the fight was going to be over. I mean, every single rear naked choke attempt was kind of across the forehead of Chris Gutierrez because he was defending so well. Maybe Chris Gutierrez could have done a better job escaping the situation, but still, he ended up on top at the end of that round, and they gave it a 10-8 round to Cody Durden. I have no idea why they gave it a 10-8 round. They didn't even give James Krause the round against Trevin Giles for pretty much doing the exact same thing, holding onto the back and going for rear naked chokes for about 4 minutes. I thought Cody Durden won the round pretty clearly, but listen, you're going to give round 1 a 10-8 and not round 3 for Chris Gutierrez. He dropped him with a knee, pretty much, even though it probably wasn't an official knockdown. He still smacked him with a knee, and Durden fell to the ground. Not to mention, Gutierrez also hurt Durden to the body in that third round. So I feel like it's a little bit weird to give Durden the 10-8 in the first round, but you know what? Worse decisions have happened. It wasn't a complete robbery. I'm okay with the decision. At least they didn't give a win to Cody Durden somehow. It was only a draw. Both guys are going to recover from this. It doesn't really hurt either of their stock. Chris Gutierrez had a good performance. I just thought he should have maybe finished Cody Durden in that third round. It felt like he had every opportunity to, but he maybe thought that the first round there's no way it was going to be a 10-8. Silly him. Should have realised that these are judges in the UFC, so there is no logic to be had. Chris Gutierrez, in my opinion, won the fight overall. They gave it a draw. I'm not really too angry at it. It's hard to be angry at it. Maybe we should value rear naked choke attempts a little bit more. Maybe I'm just a little bit weirded out because they didn't even give the round to James Krause against Trevin Giles, but they gave Cody Durden a 10-8. And also, Twitter was showing up in the middle of the card again. I don't know why they picked the stupidest tweets possible from Twitter in the middle of these fight cards, but I swear to God, the judges are looking at them and they're judging things based on those tweets that are coming up on the screen. It feels like every single time there's a tweet on screen, they find the stupidest tweet possible. So many people had that at 10-8 for Cody Durden. I didn't have it that whatsoever. It didn't even look like he had too many big ground and pound moments. However, I'm not too mad at it. It was a draw. Let's get over it. Moving on. Jamal Emmers versus Vince Cachero. Vince Cachero has got a chin on him. Not only has he got a chin on him, he's got a solar plexus on him. He's got a set of abs on him underneath that layer of flab. I'm sure there's some abs there that are rock solid because he ate so many hard knees to the body and he just didn't go down. I don't think I've seen someone eat that many body shots consecutively and just not show that it hurts them whatsoever, because Jamal Emmers was out there blasting knees to the body every single time they came close. And Vince Cachero stayed in his face the whole time, was throwing punches back. In fact, Jamal Emmers' boxing defense was looking a little bit rusty. I thought we were going to be looking at another Dalby versus Ronson situation, where Dalby gets a little bit over-aggressive and gets KO'd. Jamal Emmers, I picked him to win last minute because this fight got put together last minute, so I picked it before the fight started. Jamal Emmers got the job done. Great performance. Vince Cachero is tough. Very tough. Put him on the Contender Series. He's 7-3. He was way outsized in there. Let's put him on the Contender Series, give him a chance to earn his way back into the UFC, because clearly he's tough and he's there to win. That's a real good sign because not a lot of fighters are. We'll get to the main event in a second though. Johnny Munoz versus Nate Maness. Little bit unfortunate. It kind of reminded me of the Montel Jackson versus Brett Johns fight not too many cards ago. Johnny Munoz was doing a bit of grappling, Didn't really do too much damage with it whatsoever. Didn't really even score too many takedowns officially whatsoever as well. He just was kind of trying to hold Nate Maness against a cage. They don't value that whatsoever unless you're doing damage. I didn't mind the decision. It went to Nate Maness. It was a close fight. Plus the point reduction in the first round after all of those groin shots really did affect some things as well, because he did get the point reducted. It was fair play. There were so many groin shots on this card. It was ridiculous. I felt like every single fight had a groin shot in at least. Or an eye poke, one or the other. Even still, Johnny Munoz versus Nate Maness. Maness just was doing a little bit more, had some good moments, not to mention he kind of could have won the second round. And if he won the second round, which was a close round that could have gone either way in my opinion, if you do give him the second round against Johnny Munoz, they took a point away from Munoz in that round. That could be a 10-8 second round. So I don't mind that Maness got the decision win. It makes sense. Maness gets it done. Good performance. Not really a good performance, but still. Maness wins because he was a little bit more busy in the clinch situations where Munoz wasn't really getting too much damage or takedowns off. Maness was just landing a little bit more in the middle of all those nothingness situations, so Maness gets the job done. Not really a great performance from either of them, but you know what? Maness gets it done. Good job, Maness. Moving on. Frankie Saenz versus Jonathan Martinez. Jesus. I forgot this fight was on the card. How did I forget this fight was on the card? Frankie Saenz versus Jonathan Martinez. I mean, Jonathan Martinez basically on a 4-fight win streak right now in the UFC. I know he got robbed in his last fight against Andre Ewell, but that was at UFC 247, Jones versus Reyes, so there were a lot of robberies that night. It was in Houston. Things tend to happen in those kind of areas, but still, Frankie Saenz versus Jonathan Martinez. Great performance from Jonathan Martinez. Completely destroyed Frankie Saenz every single round. The first round was a little bit close. Frankie Saenz had a good moment where he got a takedown, but Martinez showed he can get back up. He's got great takedown defense. He's got great get-ups as well. Great defense on the ground. Got back up, went straight to work. Front kicks up the middle all day for Jonathan Martinez, landing at will. I thought that Frankie Saenz was going to get finished via a body shot. Instead, Jonathan Martinez just kept head kicking the fuck out of him. I loved it. Dominant performance from Jonathan Martinez. Just absolutely dominant start to finish. Was throwing a lot of front kicks. Then he started switching the front kicks into head kicks midway through. They were landing very clean, and Frankie Saenz was throwing his arms down in front of him to defend himself against a front kick. The head kicks were slapping him over the top. I just loved watching it. Jonathan Martinez put himself on the map, but he missed weight by 4.5 pounds, man. At least do a Ray Borg, and if you are going to miss weight, just don't even show up. Jonathan Martinez, don't miss weight by 4.5 pounds. It's just tough. Even though he did destroy him and got 3 knockdowns, and it was a great performance, and it was dominant start to finish, and Frankie Saenz should definitely retire. Don't miss weight, because it's just another thing to talk about that people are going to take away your win from. I just don't like that people can take something away from Jonathan Martinez's performance because he missed weight. It's unfortunate, but hey. Frankie Saenz gets paid a little bit of money for his beating that he took. So maybe it's all good in the end. Jonathan Martinez gets his win bonus anyway, so he's still going to be earning a nice little amount of money. Jonathan Martinez gets the job done. I definitely think if he didn't miss weight, he would have got a performance of the night bonus, because it was definitely a performance of the night bonus worthy performance. It's just that, you know, he missed weight, and it's tough. You're not going to get a bonus doing that. He'll learn the lesson. He's a big guy for bantamweight. I think he's going to have He's going to give real problems to that division. Ricky Simone, Raoni Barcelos, any of these guys outside the rankings right now that are coming off wins, face off against Jonathan Martinez, and the winner of that one will get a shot against someone inside the rankings. Great performance from Martinez, getting it done, showing us how it's done. Great reach advantage, and he used it well. Phenomenal performance. Moving on to the main card. And here's where things get interesting. Kevin Holland versus Trevin Giles. You've got Kevin Holland getting the job done in world's fastest UFC KO ever. He got it done before Giles even made the walkout. He KO'd Trevin Giles. I don't know how he did it. I don't know how that's possible, but Kevin Holland breaking records yet again. Jorge Masvidal, you've got nothing on Kevin Holland. You had 4 seconds, Masvidal. Big whoop, or was it 5 seconds? Who cares at this point? Kevin Holland knocked out Trevin Giles with minus seconds on the clock. Do you understand what that means? I'm joking, but Trevin Giles fainted backstage. Unfortunate situation. I'm sure not ideal for Kevin Holland, but you know what? Both of these guys, and here's what the great thing about one of these mess-ups of a card is, where everything's just crazy and there's just no way of understanding what's going to happen next, is that all of the guys that got pulled off of this card are going to be put onto other cards coming up. So we're only going to be... Now the fight card is over. It hurts when you're watching the card live to see all of these fights go wrong. But now that that's over, we get to see all of those fights just over the next few weeks. Kevin Holland's probably going to be on the next fight card. Sounds real cool. UFC 252. Maybe put Kevin Holland on there. Maybe put Ed Herman versus Gerald Meerschaert on there. I know Meerschaert tested positive, but yeah. Give him a few weeks, let him test negative. Meerschaert versus Ed Herman. Rebook it on this card. You know, there's a lot of fights on these cards that you can just help out other cards with. So I'm kind of glad that some of these got cancelled. Maybe they rebook Kevin Holland versus Trevin Giles. I doubt they're going to let Trevin Giles fight in the next few weeks. He's probably going to have to wait about a month because fainting is a real big deal. Even if he fainted... Because the thing is, when you faint, it's not like he just faints and that's it. Like, he could have fainted and smacked his head off the ground. Like, we don't know these kind of things. So maybe he's suffering from a concussion. Either way, he fainted backstage. I do want to say this. It's impossible to promote him now. And that sucks that it works like that. But it is really impossible for anyone to get behind him. He fainted backstage from nerves. I understand that it's tough and there's nothing he can do about it. It's literally just a natural reaction to have sometimes. Maybe the body he's literally made the walk so many times before, but just this time, he just faints. You know, like, there's nothing he can do about that. That's just his body deciding to do something that he kind of has no control over whatsoever. But still, you can't promote him. He can't be a star anymore because of that situation. Imagine if Conor McGregor had, in some point in his history, a moment where he was so scared backstage he fainted. He'd never be a superstar. Imagine if Israel Adesanya had a fight earlier on in his UFC career where he just didn't walk out because he fainted from nerves backstage. He wouldn't be a superstar. It's tough. But that's what happened. Trevin Giles, unfortunate situation. Again, much like the situation between him and James Krause where he got his hand raised. Nothing he can do about it. Unfortunate for Trevin Giles. Even more unfortunate for Kevin Holland. But at least he got his show money and made that for free without having to do any work whatsoever other than make weight. At middleweight, which he does easily. Kevin Holland versus Ed Herman. Or rebook him versus Giles at UFC 252 as the headliner of the prelims. Who knows? 252 needs help. 252 needs desperate help. Okay? Because much as I love John Dodson and Merab Dvalishvili, that's not a main card of a pay-per-view fight. We need help. Let's shift some of these fights over to 252, help out the prelims, and we'll see what we can do from there. But moving on to the actual fights on the card. Lando Vannata versus Bobby Green 2. Again, much like my reaction to the main event, Lando, if you can't go 3 rounds hard and you're not ready to go 3 rounds hard, kind of don't show up. Bobby Green got the job done. A very clear win from Bobby Green. A dominant 3rd round as well where he looked amazing. Landed the elbow coming out of the clinch. Beautiful shot. Lando Vannata's got a great chin for surviving that. But now Lando Vannata is 11-5. Unfortunate for Lando. I predicted him to win this one. I thought he was going to get it done by decision because if you watch the first fight, Lando's got more to improve on because he's a younger guy. And he would have won that first fight if not for the point reduction. I know that Bobby Green said that he's now won 2. You haven't. I mean, the first fight could have gone to Lando anyway, even with the point reduction. But still, they gave it a draw because of the point reduction in the first fight, even though it wasn't even that much of an illegal shot. It landed with the fire rather than the knee, if you remember that fight in the first round. Lando Vannata just didn't look like himself in there, to be honest with you, and I was somewhat disappointed. He clearly wasn't in the best shape whatsoever. He didn't have any gas after the first round, which is just strange. Why would you take a fight? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think you're just going to go in there and KO Bobby Green in the first round? You're on the same level as Dustin Poirier? It's just a bit weird to me. Why show up? If you don't have the gas tank to go hard for 3 rounds, don't show up. Because I'm betting on you, man. You know, I didn't actually bet any money on Lando Vannata, but still, I would have done. If my bets didn't fuck me over and get completely destroyed by Rayborg pulling out and ruining my parlays. But still, don't show up Lando Vannata if you're not ready to go hard for 3 rounds. But Bobby Green showed him the way out. Bobby Green's been more active, stayed in better shape, looks great in this fight, had a great jab, landed some big shots. The first round I feel like could have gone to Lando because he landed the bigger shots. He had some good moments. I know it looked like Bobby Green knocked him down in the first round. He didn't. They just sort of collided and Lando was off balance. But still, Bobby Green won the fight fair and square. Dominant performance in the 2nd and 3rd round. Getting the job done. Great stuff from Bobby Green. Great stuff from Bobby Green. Move him on. I don't know who he wants to fight next. He said he wants to pay off his house. Go pay off your house 100%. You just got a fight tonight bonus. I don't mind. We'll see what's next for Bobby Green. I know he wants to fight James Vick. The fight with him and James Vick is always going to be there. But I wouldn't mind seeing Bobby Green take on a bit more of a challenge to get him towards those rankings again. Because even though he's an older guy, he's still got the skills and the chin to do it. So why not jump him up those rankings and take on a guy at lightweight that maybe like Bobby Green versus Kevin Lee for Kevin Lee's comeback fight at the end of the year in December? Does that make sense? I feel like it does. I feel like it does make a lot of sense. Bobby Green versus Kevin Lee. Bobby Green versus Alexander Hernandez. Bobby Green versus James Vick is also a good fight. I think he'll win that fight against James Vick. Bobby Green has got options. Another guy who stole the show tonight with a dominant performance. Unfortunate that Lando Vannata didn't really show up the best version of himself. But still, Bobby Green gets it done. Dominant in those later rounds. Was in way better shape and gets it done because of it. Good job from Bobby Green. Moving on. Luque versus Brown. Jesus, this card went quick because there were no fights on it. Luque, dominant performance. I made a full fight reaction video to it. Luque was just on another level to Randy Brown. I knew that before the fight. I know it even more now coming out of the fight. I picked Luque to win by first round TKO. He almost did. This close. So close for Luque getting that first round TKO. Second round TKO. I'll take it instead. It's still a TKO in the first 2 rounds. I'll take it. You know, I'm a genius. I understand. But Luque gets it done against Brown. Great performance. Leg kick city. Completely destroyed his lead leg. Randy Brown had to switch stance, which he's not good at doing, really, unless he wants to. It's very, very telling sign when a guy starts switching stances when they don't usually do that kind of thing. I mean, Randy Brown can do a little bit of things from both stances. But when Luque smacks your leg and you immediately switch stances, it's a very clear sign that that is starting to really hurt you. He tried to throw some back, but Luque just checked him or moved out the way and fired him back. Luque's chin is just unfair. That's just how it is. Luque's chin is just unfair. He ate spinning elbows. He ate front kicks up the middle. He ate a flying knee at one point as well. You just can't KO him. It's unfair. But that's how the sport works sometimes. There's just people like Luque built with the head on his shoulders that he has. You can't KO him. You've got to try and survive. You don't have the volume to do so in Randy Brown. Luque chops him down, eventually getting a knee in the second round and blasting him with ground and pound. Luque versus Maia. Randy Brown versus Gunnar Nelson. Or the loser of Magny versus Jeff Neal. Either one makes sense to me, but great performance from Luque. Stole the show, earned himself a performance of the night bonus. Well deserved, Luque. Great job. Joanne Calderwood versus Jennifer Maia. Who's ready for Jennifer Maia versus Valentina Shevchenko, guys? Round of applause for Maia versus Shevchenko. Yay. I'm so excited for Shevchenko versus Maia. Yay. Yay. Everyone say yay with me because I don't feel like everyone's excited enough. Maia versus Shevchenko. Anyone? Guys? No? Okay, cool. I wasn't interested either. We're all on the same page here. Jennifer Maia's going to get a title shot against Valentina Shevchenko. Tough to sell, but still. Good armbar from Jennifer Maia in the first round. Little bit stupid of Joanne Calderwood to go to the ground with a girl that she's easily outstriking. Not easily outstriking, but definitely outstriking. And doing a better job in the striking realm of the fight. Even landed more significant strikes even up until the end. Just a little bit strange that she decided to go to the ground with Jennifer Maia. Just very strange that Joanne Calderwood would choose to do that. But I feel bad for Joanne Calderwood because she risked her title shot to do this. I don't think she risked her title shot. I think she tried to secure her title shot because I maybe don't think they would have done that title fight between her and Shevchenko because Joanne Calderwood was like slowly moving down those rankings as time went on because she was so inactive. I also feel like maybe she was running out of money, you know, because she hadn't fought in such a long time. I believe it's been over a year since the last time we saw Joanne Calderwood out there in the octagon. She needed some money. She showed up against Jennifer Maia. She got armbarred in the first round. What can you say? It was a close one. Why go to the ground with Maia? It doesn't make any sense, but she did it. So good job, Calderwood. Maia gets the job done. Shevchenko's gonna murder her. It's just not even a division. I don't even know how much credit I'm willing to give Valentina Shevchenko. If I didn't see Valentina Shevchenko have close fights with Amanda Nunes, I don't think I'd give her much credit because it's just tough to sell in this division right now. She's going to dominate Jennifer Maia. Close fight, though. But she's just going to outstrike Maia for 5 rounds, probably. Good job, Jennifer Maia. Gets the job done. Gets the title shot. Let's see it, I guess, and just fucking move on and do fucking Cynthia Calvillo versus Caitlin Chukagian. The winner of that one gets a title shot. And let's just try and build some kind of hype in the women's flyweight division. Moving on to the main event. Derek Brunson versus Edmund Shahbazyan. Shahbazyan has no gas tank. I thought that after the Darren Stewart fight, but you know, I just thought that maybe he would have worked on it since then, and he can go 3 rounds with Darren Stewart and look somewhat good. He gassed out immediately after 5 minutes. Like he was a different guy in the second round. And he even got eye poked and got some time to get his breath back again. And still didn't look like he had any energy whatsoever. Also, with Edmund Shahbazyan, he didn't even like empty the gas tank on Derek Lewis. If Edmund Shahbazyan went out there and almost had Derek Brunson, I think I said Derek Lewis just then. If Edmund Shahbazyan went out there and almost finished Derek Brunson in the first round and went after him with ground and pound and was raining down big shots, massive power punches that were almost finishing Derek Brunson, but Brunson barely survived, maybe I would understand him gassing out. But even then, I'd be disappointed that he gassed out. That first round wasn't even high-paced. Honestly, that first round wasn't high-paced whatsoever. I mean, there were good shots landed back and forth. Brunson landed a couple good body kicks in that round. I don't think they had much effect in terms of cardio on Edmund. Of course, they're going to help a little bit in terms of bringing down that cardio level. But still, you've had 2 training camps for this fight, Edmund Shahbazyan, and you were gassed after 5 minutes. Like, had nothing. Like, not even like he was just a little bit slower in the second round. Like, a lot of people say that McGregor gasses out. He just slows down a little bit as the fight goes on. Everyone does. Some people, it's more obvious because they're so explosive early. Edmund Shahbazyan, like, come on, man. A little bit more than 5 minutes for me. Just a little bit more, because I thought he won that first round. If he could have kept that going, he maybe could have done some good work. Derek Brunson, greatest gatekeeper of all time. Does not let anyone into those top 5 unless they're going to be a world champion. You got to give it to Derek Brunson. Lets no one past him unless they're Yoel Romero, who arguably is a world champion after beating Luke Rockhold, but he missed weight. Yoel Romero, Robert Whittaker, Israel Adesanya. Brunson don't let anyone through. He beat Uriah Hall. You know, he was beating Yoel Romero as well before that fight was over, if you remember. Beat Edmund Shahbazyan. Beat Ian Heinich, Elias Theodorou. It's just unfortunate that Brunson exists. But he's a great gatekeeper. He does his job well. I feel like Brunson versus Till should be next. Brunson said he wants to go and spend time with his family. He had no call out whatsoever, which means, you know, no hype for his next fight, which is unfortunate. I wish he would have had a good call out. I feel like he's probably going to call out Jack Hermansson. That's the only thing that really makes sense, to be honest with you guys. But I would make Darren Till versus Derek Brunson. That's the fight to make, in my opinion, in February, once Darren Till's knee is healed and once Brunson's had a little bit of time off as well to spend with his kids and family like he wants. Brunson versus Till in February next year. Great matchup. Also do Shahbazyan versus Gastelum or Shahbazyan versus Antonio Carlos Jr. Someone coming off a loss, or maybe the loser of Weidman versus Akhmedov. Who knows? And also do Jack Hermansson versus the winner of Uriah Hall versus Yoel Romero. Whittaker's fighting Cannonier, and you've got yourself an easy division. Nice stuff. Good division at middleweight. Brunson just showed how good of a gatekeeper he is. I know a lot of people are saying he's not a gatekeeper now. He's a gatekeeper. He's just a really good one that only lets a certain amount of people through. You know? Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Click that button there. Good performance from Brunson. More of a bad performance from Edmund, though, in my opinion. But good shit. Good win from Brunson. Massive underdog win. Shouldn't have been that much of an underdog anyway, but you know. Good job. Ruining our plans again, Brunson. You pesky gatekeeper, you. Good lord, what's it gonna take? Another champion, maybe. Goodbye. Click that button there. See you later. Yeah.